Hi there. If you're like most busy moms and dads, getting a meal on the table for your family can be difficult some days. Wouldn't it be great if you could walk through the door after work and have dinner waiting for you? Well, that's what can happen when you have a crock pot, sometimes also called a slow cooker. There's nothing like a crock pot for making hearty, nutritious meals that you can have on the table within minutes after you get home.
That's right. Many people already have a crock pot that they don't use very much. If that's the case, you'll probably want to go find it after watching this video.
But we're going to take this first little bit here to talk to those of you who don't have a crock pot. These tips will help you choose the one that's just right for you and your family.
So what should we look for in a crock pot?
Crock pots come in different shapes and sizes, and some have many features. So first, let's talk about which size you should get. Families of 4 or more people should probably look for a 6-quart crock pot. Families of 2 or 3 can use a 4-quart size. To cook food safely, a crock pot should be at least half full, so you don't want to get one that's too large.
Does it matter if it's round or oval?
Great question. The round ones are great for soups and stews, but the oval crock pot offers more options because you can get roasts or even whole chickens into them. So if you have a choice, I'd recommend the oval shape. Once you've decided on the size and shape, there are other features you should look for. Your crock pot should have a clear, snug-fitting glass lid, so you can check on the food without taking it off, which lets out steam and slows the cooking process.
What's the advantage of a removable insert?
For one thing, you can take it out to use on a table. They're also easier to clean. The insert should have large, sturdy handles to make it easy and safe to move from your counter to the dinner table.
What about all these buttons and knobs?
An indicator light shows you that the crock pot is working. This could help prevent you from accidentally leaving it on. A programmable timer can automatically shift to a keep warm mode as soon as the timed cooking ends. If you decide on a mechanical type, remember that they have adjustable temperature controls, but no timer, so you need to turn it off manually. Crock pots with automatic timers range anywhere from $20 to $200. Just be sure you read the box carefully so you know exactly what you're getting. All right, now for how to use the crock pot. Besides having dinner ready after a busy day, crock pots have another advantage. They cook food slowly at a low temperature, which can help tenderize less expensive, tougher cuts of meat. This can help save you money because you don't have to buy fancier, more expensive cuts.
Is a crock pot really safe to cook food in?
Absolutely. Between the direct heat, long cooking times, and the steam that's created in the tightly covered pot, the crock pot is a safe way to cook foods.
So what foods can you cook in a crock pot?
The dishes you make in your crock pot should have lots of moisture, like soups, stews, chili, spaghetti sauce, or roasts that cook in liquid. When you start, as always, everything should be clean. The cooker, your utensils, your workspace, and your hands. Be sure to wash your hands before handling any food and during the preparation process as needed.
Can you show us how to cook a meal in a crock pot?
I knew you were going to ask that. Let's make a chicken chili in the crock pot. Not only is it easy to make and delicious, but it uses foods that you can buy with your WIC benefits. I've already cut up my vegetables and chicken, so would you get them out of the refrigerator for me?
Sure.
Be sure to keep your perishable foods in the refrigerator until you're ready to use them in the crock pot. If you're using meat or poultry that's been frozen, you have to thaw it completely in the refrigerator before putting it in the crock pot. Also, if you like to cut up meat and vegetables in advance, like the night before you're going to cook them, be sure to store them separately in the refrigerator. This will ensure that no bacteria is present in your ingredients. So first, we put in the raw vegetables. Peppers, onions, carrots. When putting your food in the crock pot, be sure to put the raw vegetables in first because they cook more slowly than the meat. Then, I'll toss in the chicken chunks. The beans, I'm using chickpeas, kidney beans, and black beans, need to be rinsed in cold water and then put into the crock pot. And then add tomatoes, which will add all the liquid that we need. Finally, we'll sprinkle the chili powder on the top and stir it a little bit. We'll stir it all really well later after the raw vegetables on the bottom have cooked. Now we place the lid on securely. Don't take it off unless you need to stir the food or check it for doneness.
How do we know what temperature it should be?
Most crockpots have 2 or more heat settings. Your recipe will tell you whether to cook your foods at high or low temperature, but as a rule for all-day cooking and less tender meats, you'll want to use the lower setting. If you have time in the morning, turn the crockpot on high for the first hour, then turn it to low for the rest of the cooking time. But don't worry, it's safe to cook foods at low for the whole time. That's what I'm going to do now.
What happens if the power goes out while it's cooking?
You ask great questions. If there's a power outage while the crockpot is on and you're not at home, throw away the food even if it looks done. If you are at home, you should finish cooking the ingredients some other way, like on a gas stove or an outdoor grill, or maybe someone else's house. If you're at home and the food was completely cooked before the power went out, it should be safe for up to 2 hours in the cooker with the power off.
What about leftovers? Can I reheat them in the crock pot?
No, you really shouldn't. It just takes too long to heat them from the cold temperature. Just reheat them the way you usually do with leftovers, on the stove, in a microwave, or a regular oven. If you want, once the food is hot, you can move it to a preheated crock pot to keep it warm until it's time to serve. So, I'll just leave my chili to cook. When it's done, it can be served in bowls as it is, or if you want, you can serve it with brown rice and a salad. To find this recipe, click on the More Information link for this section. Bon appetit!